morning. Oh, you're way over there. I thought you were still in your tent. Did you get water? Cool. Thanks for getting my bear bag. Morning. Good morning. We've got 2 miles to the state border, and that will mean Georgia is crossed off the list. Will be completed. Heading 10 miles today, which would be fine, but the end of the day is Deep Gap, the really rocky descent down into Deep Gap that I remember from last year, and it was quite arduous. It was at least a couple miles of very rocky terrain, so I'll get some footage for you there so you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad as I remember. Blue Mountain descent was not as bad as I remember, but I was on a fractured foot last year, so it was easier for me this year. But it's sun is not out. It's not raining, but it's just such a heavy fog. We're in the clouds that everything is just moist. I'm out of breath and I'm going up. So I'll talk to you a little bit, probably at the border. Funny thing about our tent site last night, I think I said last night on my video that it wasn't a good water source, but if I just walked a little bit further than I initially did when I entered the area, there was a spring. So it's not flowing heavy, but certainly you can get water there if you're looking for it. But the whole site was kind of pitched at an angle, so I shoved clothes underneath the left side of my sleeping pad to kind of keep me fairly level, keep me from rolling off the edge. And I kept my head on an incline, so that was fine. But it was pretty funny just trying to keep myself on my pad. Had no choice. I couldn't find a perfectly flat space, which you never can find perfect, but I can do better than that. I was going to say something else. I don't know. All things considered, though, I slept pretty well, had some weird dreams. This whole trip so far, I've been having strange dreams. But after a couple more weeks, this will be all familiar and comfortable, and hopefully I'll sleep better. Okay, on to North Carolina. North Carolina! There's Bly Gap, funky tree. That looks wild coming out of the fog like that. That was Bly Gap that we just passed through, that funky tree. And now got a couple miles to Muskrat Creek Shelter, where we're just going to stop for lunch and stretch and so forth. But it's a little chillier than I was hoping today, or than it started out to be, but it's not raining, so that's okay. We're just damp and a little chilly, but all is well. Heading to Muskrat Creek for lunch. It's just so perfectly quiet. I love it. Just as I'm hiking and I just stop in my tracks and just listen to nothing. It's one of my favorite things. I'm a very social person, and I can chitter-chatter away like nobody's business, but when I'm actually walking, not at the shelter or hostel or tent site, and I'm just walking, I actually really like the silence. Sometimes I'll listen to my music or a book on tape, but honestly, just when I start feeling stressed, I mean, look at that. How beautiful. So I find myself sometimes, because I'm so slow going up the mountains, and depending on the terrain going down, I'm kind of crawling. But when it's a straightaway, I find myself almost rushing because I'm focusing on how many miles that I need to cover to get to the destination of the day, whether it's a tent site or a shelter. So I'm really rethinking. I'm starting to rethink how much planning I should do for the day. So, for example, I have started yesterday morning with 4 days of food. So I really kind of have to get into Franklin and to get to that gap into town before I run out of food. But maybe it would be better for me to just carry one extra meal or one extra day's food, even just sacrifice the weight of my backpack to allow myself the luxury of not having to stick to a plan. I need to look at the weather and take things into consideration, of course, but like today, for example, I'm about a mile from Muskrat Creek Shelter. And there's a group of people up there, some hikers that we ran into yesterday, and they were going to end there today. And I feel like being social tonight, and and I'm tired, and it is still it's only the second week of my hike. So why shouldn't I just stop at Muskrat Creek even if it's 1 or 2 in the afternoon, be social, hang out with those people, maybe have my big meal for lunch and a snack at dinner, and go out again tomorrow. And, I want the flexibility and the freedom to make those choices. So I'm rethinking how I planned this 4-day segment. So maybe I'll do it differently next time, but right now, anyway, stop there for lunch, regardless. And Deep Gap worries me just because my horrible memory of last year. Isn't this gorgeous? I've been watching some bluebirds and some other birds. I don't know, there's a flurry of them up ahead. I just stopped and watched them playing. I don't know if I can get them in the view. Most of them have flown away. Oh, there's one up there a little bit, center. It's actually been quite an enjoyable day. Just arriving at Muskrat Creek Shelter. I'm gonna stop there for lunch. You can see it in the trees there. And that's where I'm gonna go have my lunch. Joel has fallen back behind me. He needed to get a snack way back. So he'll meet me here, I'm probably sure. He walks faster than me. He shouldn't be too long. Three boys are here. The hikers I mentioned earlier, Webster, Legs, and Rooster. Just left Muskrat Creek Shelter where I had a lunch. You went right by it though. So I got Papa John here, PJ on the AT, if you want to check out his vlog. So yeah, nice guy, and we're all heading north together. So yeah.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
It's waiting for you.
Well, we're in it. So
we're in it.
All right. This is Chunky Gal Trail. The sign is missing. But making progress. I think the trail used to be called Big Squaw, and For obvious reasons, it's been changed to Chunky Gal, although I think they could have named it something else. I take offense to that. There's the rocky terrain I discussed, but it's hard to see the rocks because of all these downed trees that we assume are from Irma. Hurricane Irma. When was that? Wasn't that last fall?
No, 2017.
Did Florence get this far up?
No.
Wow.
No.
Oh yeah, so these are the rocks that we're having to deal with for the next mile or so. I don't know. Okay, whoever left this for me, whoever you are, it might be Papa John, but thank you. You've just brought me to tears. Thanks for the encouragement. Ah! Like seriously, that's amazing. It's been a 10-mile day. It's the last 2/10, heading to standing Indian shelter. The weather turned out beautiful. The sun came out. I'm tired, as it should be, and looking forward to a hot meal and my air mattress. Oh. Whew. It's a beautiful day, and it's a good day to be alive, and it's a good day to be on the Appalachian Trail. Ahoy there! Honey, I'm home. Hi. I like to see the shelters. Whew.
So you got the road sign I left you?
You made me cry.
Oh.